This Three Beards Media podcast may contain mature themes and may not be suitable for all audiences.
All right. Hey, welcome back to another episode of In the Side of the Storm, where we talk all things Cyclones. I'm here, Dave Larson, with my Storm team partners, Cyclone greats Brent Curvey and Marcus Fiber. How you guys doing?
What up?
Doing great,
Doing
my
good,
man. How
doing
about
well.
yourself?
Hey, I'm awesome. I'm really excited to be here. Wishing the former co-host George Trice, who's elected to focus more of his energies on the Jack Trice Foundation, which we all support. Happy
Absolutely.
to be sliding into this seat, though, to work with you guys, though. How are you guys doing?
I mean, I'm good, man. Coaching like crazy and preparing for the playoffs here. The first round of the playoffs is Friday night. So, locked in still and, trying to get beads on opponents and find some weaknesses so we can take advantage of it.
Awesome. How about you, Marcus?
Not too bad. Just every day in, day out, trying to, keep this old man body.
You're ready for the
working.
Comeback after watching Giannis's contract today, aren't you?
Yeah. Hey, after seeing every one of these contracts, I'm ready for a comeback each and every time. But that body is not gonna let it happen, though. But
Right.
I mean, doing the best we can to stay healthy around here. Have kind of cranked up the training and things like that. It's starting to get cooler here, where we've had about 90s and 88s and stuff for the last couple of days, so it's starting to cool off a little bit.
It's crazy you call that cool.
That's cool, man.
That's crazy. Shout out to
That is
George
cool.
too, by the way. George just tapped in and said what up. So what up, George? Appreciate you checking in, my man.
Well, hope everything's going good down there. I hope you're getting that cool weather down there too.
Well, welcome, George. Welcome everyone else who's watching and listening today. Speaking of the Jack Trice Foundation, boy, it's been a couple weeks since we had our last show. I think we had the Jack Trice game against TCU at home. Boy, that was a good game. Cyclones are back on track.
It's always good to get a win, man.
Yeah. I noticed the other day. I think I already knew, but I, just hearing it, last Saturday when games was going on, obviously we had to buy, and they said, we're second in the Big 12. I was like, well, that sounds pretty damn good,
Right.
Considering, how we got off the season, started off and everything like that. And you always like, man, I mean, something like George said, every time we start off good at the beginning of the year, then we get into the Big 12 and, hit the slide. So when we start off bad, we have better luck in the Big 12. So hopefully we can keep riding that and, continue to get better. These guys are starting to figure it out a little bit. Rocco is starting to settle in, make the right reads and things like that. And it's been exciting to see.
I'm saying, man, I called it early. Like, give them 4 or 5 games, let them figure it out. Because that's football, man. It's a learning curve with any job you have. It takes time to figure some stuff out. Young dudes finally figure out how quick the game moves. Well, then they start to step up. There's no more guessing where I'm supposed to be. There's no more, well, if I see this, what should I do? There's a lot of things coming, start to come full circle and starts to look like a normal potent offense. So
is that the biggest difference you guys see? Is it the evolution of the young guys being able to step in and just understanding the pace that's needed and the speed that's needed and where to be? I mean, just it seems like a big night and day difference, both offensively and especially on the offensive line. I think in Rocco's evolution as a quarterback too.
Yeah, that's a part of sports in general. I'm sure, Marcus, you can say the same thing going from, transitioning from college to the NBA, like the speed of the game and, changing the terminology from what you were used to now getting something brand new. Like, you're not going to pick it right up right away. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're learning it in, let's say, not a locker room, but a meeting room versus being outside and actually doing it. So, just one of those things. It does take time. And then once we finally get it, now we got it. So I think it's just that, we're starting to finally settle in on whatever principles they've been taught and learned, and starting to finally hit home and make a little bit more sense for the guys. So
yes, it's kind of like practice. Like when you first start a season and you're practicing and you're trying to figure out everything, it looks terrible. It looks terrible. And then you get into the games and it looks terrible. Well, now, we've had practices, we've had games, and now the games aren't looking like practices anymore. The games are being figured out, and now you're mastering it in practice, and now everything is falling in line. It's just a steady flow of getting an understanding of what's expected. When we lost so many guys in the beginning with the whole scandal and everything that went on, is like, the next man up mentality is trying to figure out how can I be productive in a role that I didn't think it was going to be my time just yet. So now it's my time, and now I got to do it, and I got to put, forth the effort to figure that out. And gracefully, we figured out before the Big 12 started, and now we're starting to play some great games. And then, like we said, it's fun to see.
From your perspective, that TCU game a year ago was awful, and for those players to come out and do what they did this year, that they have to feel great about that game. Do you ever have a game like that where year before or 2 seasons before you just couldn't wait to come out and hit somebody the next time that you played that team?
Well, that was every Saturday, if you ask me. It was every chance I got. It was like, I can't wait to see him. But that's part of it, man. You tend to kind of pick out guys, right? Guys that really push you to be a little better. So you tend to go a little bit harder because you're going to see them. So, I'm sure that's one of those. They were like, we got to get a little bit of get back from, last year when we kind of got throttled. So it's our turn to kind of change the game. So you can tell they came into it more focused. It helps that, they're not the same TCU that they were last year. And you could see that, but they did what they were supposed to do. They took advantage of every opportunity they had and, handled business.
And for me in basketball, we had more games. So if it was a bad game or a team that was, better than us at that time, it was the next practice for me. It was going to be tough on the whole entire squad, come practice. I was really, really eager to get into practice to correct the things, especially if I felt like I had a bad game. It doesn't matter. It's not about the points. It's whatever. If I felt like I had a bad game, win or lose, that next practice was that opportunity to get better. I always felt better after practices, when I practiced to, the part of what the coaches wanted us to do. Not necessarily the games. We work so hard and we prepare so hard in practice that, once you get to the games, it should be an easier road for you. But the practice time was the funnest time for me, and we went on for hours and hours. And it's the camaraderie of the sport and actually playing the game in practice is what made it fun. The game is going to last however long, but in practice, getting more reps, getting better, seeing you getting better with your brothers and things like that was always the best thing for me.
The team really looked great against Cincinnati, when they came out and did a fake field goal for the first down. Man, that was awesome to see. That was huge. And Contreras came through there. And I tell you what, when I first saw that, I thought, did Paul Rhodes show up? Because that was a Rhodes move, He was one that would usually come out, or, some of those McCarney games, you'd have a trick play all of a sudden. And we haven't seen a lot of that out of Matt Campbell. So that was fun to see. And I knew we're in it today. We're in it to win.
It's same thing. Like, we can't do trick plays and we can't do the main stuff, right? Like, I don't want to bring any of that stuff out until I know we're comfortable in our normal, right? So that's part of it. You'll start to see, I'm sure, more evolution within them because guys are starting to get comfortable, and that helps change play calls and gameplay altogether and how you manage the game too. So guys will start seeing things a little bit better and probably be a lot more trickery down the line.
Hey, whatever works. Whatever works.
That's right.
If we can get a little advantage, that the object of the game is to have more points than the other team. So if it's 1 point, 2 points, if we can give us 3 points ahead to get the victory, I'm all for it.
Now we're starting to seem to be rolling into things. Jake Remsburg had an appearance against Cincinnati. I'm sure we'll see more of him with the offensive line. Things seem to really be molding into shape for this team.
Yeah, for sure. It's always good to see, man. I'm sure he's happy to be back, and and anytime guys come back from injury, we call everybody fresh legs. So he's got some fresh legs and less miles this season, so that should bode well for us later on.
Right. Are we bowl bound?
Oh yeah, I'd say so. What we got? 2 more. What are we? 4 and 3. What's our record? 4 and 2, 4 and 3.
4 and 3.
4 and 3.
So I looked this up. We've got games at Baylor. That's this weekend, 2:30. We got a home game against KU. We get to go out to BYU. Another home game against Texas. I can't wait to play that game. And then at Kansas State.
Yeah, we bowl bound in my eyes.
Marcus?
Yeah. Hey, I'm excited about it. The way the season started off in the beginning, we were like, we don't know where we're going to go with this. And especially, the way the game in Ohio looked, the way, the Iowa game looked, we knew it was early, but we know that the 12 gets tougher, but again, we put together these strings of games. Being a team like TCU has really gave them some momentum. Has really, put it in their mind that we can really do this. And if how many we need? 1 more to be bowl bound?
2
more?
2 more.
Yep. So I see us getting at least 2 more, maybe 3, before the end of the season. And, let's roll this thing on out.
Sign me up for that. No doubt about it. What'd you guys think of the Trice uniforms? Those look sick or what?
Oh man, I'm still waiting for a jersey. I like those things, man. I was asking George how can I get my hands on one? I like them, man. I want one to frame and just keep it here. It was cool. I like the throwbacks, man. It was pretty smooth little homage to Jack Trice too.
There was a bit of some trolling about the pants because the pants kind of looked like nude.
They was
first looked at them. When you first looked at them, they was kind of like, and I saw it on something random on Instagram, and so I went on and I commented and gave them a whole backstory of what's where those jerseys come from and the uniforms and yada yada and all of that. They wasn't trying to hear that. They was trying to. They said, man, but the guys look like they're nude out there,
right?
I mean, and you get it, but that's probably back then it didn't look like that. Now different material, better material, stuff like that. We got the cameras and stuff like that. It was when I first saw it, I was kind of like, and then I recognized it a little bit more, and I was like, this game looks familiar. I was like, oh, that's our game. And so let me get into the comments. Let them know what's going on.
Yeah, they had the.
All right, so go back to your
worst
playing
uni
days.
thing.
What were your favorite uniforms?
Who, talking to me or Marcus?
Yeah, both of you.
I'll let you.
Do you have a favorite, whether it's a Cyclone jersey, or is there a uniform that boy you want to play in today if you had a chance?
In college or pros or just?
We'll go college.
In general.
We'll go college.
I've always liked Ohio State colors, just the cleanness of it all, just how the red and the white art. I don't know if it's red or they call it crimson or scarlet or whatever color that they call it, but I've always been a big Ohio State fan. And then they got a little silver in there. So their football jersey, their football team is always on TV and things like that. So I've always liked, them and University of Michigan. I'm originally from Detroit. If it wasn't Iowa State, it probably would have been Michigan. But I've always liked, the yellow and the blue of the Wolverines as well. So probably those two have always been my favorite. I know University of Michigan and Ohio State University wouldn't like to hear that. Two of these rivals are two of my favorite football jerseys. But, football being my favorite sport, I've always liked those two. And being from, the state of Michigan, I always seen the rivalry between those two. So that's probably why.
Yeah, look better Cardinal and gold, though.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
What about you, Brent? Man. Did you have a chance to play in those throwbacks? I'm trying to remember the year that they had those. The Culbertson, Shaggy field goal year?
I was gone.
Okay.
I graduated. I left that the year before. But, yeah, I didn't get throwbacks. We were pretty much KC Chiefs colors when I was there. I got so, I mean, those units were cool. We were pretty much the Chiefs. Like
they piped those colors down a whole lot.
Yeah, because it was some blue. There was that tertiary blue in there with the. On my
freshman year, we had a whole yellow jersey.
Yeah.
My freshman year, we had yellow jerseys. Like that was one of the home jerseys. That was the home jersey. You like the whole yellow jersey, and you can see very small amount of the red and white on it, but they were, and then whatever material they was, boy, it was sticking to you like it was saran wrap. Yeah, that was my freshman year. You say she came in my sophomore year, and we won Adidas, and the jerseys got a whole lot better. Got a whole lot better.
So was y'all Russell first year?
It was Russell. It was Russell.
That's it.
I just got to hop in here because I've always thought that this would look cool. I mocked this up the other day.
Don't tell me it's those yellow jerseys.
Nope.
Oh,
tell me that
dope.
doesn't look fun.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
That is dope.
See, I want one of those helmets too. Is my favorite Iowa State logo. I'm not a huge fan of the Iowa State. I love the swirling sigh.
Yeah,
that one was my sophomore year. Is when that logo came.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's my favorite. That's a logo I play like that.
And that's when Larry brought in those Navy jerseys and
they didn't go.
Oh,
I still say we can go back to swirling sigh, change the navy blue to a dark gray, and it would look sick.
Oh yeah,
I really like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did y'all see Cy Kelsey the other day? Travis Kelsey showed up to media day wearing the Cyclone logo or the Cyclone head mascot.
Yeah, Cincinnati. He must have bet Purdy, and we beat Cincinnati, so had to wear those size head there to media day or whatever. It's kind of dope, man. Everybody was tagging Travis Kelsey and all of that. I'm sure that wasn't fun for him because Cyclone fans came out of everywhere. I'm sure to comment on that puppy.
Yeah. What do you guys think of making this the Jack Trice game an annual event where the team comes out in the uniforms and celebrates Jack Trice?
Absolutely, of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
For everything that his name stands for the university, athletics, and the ultimate sacrifice that he, gave in order to be a student athlete at Iowa State University. Of course.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, in talking to George, I think part of his idea was to get a jersey. Somebody wears 37. One player rocks 37 for the year. And I think that's a phenomenal idea too, right? To kind of continue the legacy and somebody that embodies that. I think that'd be a heck of a way to go. But man, should definitely at bare minimum be something that we do every year.
So for all us fans to look forward to. Hey, we're going to take a quick time out. Let's hear a word from our sponsor, Revelton Distillery.
Finally got me some.
At Revelton Distilling Company, everyone has become a part of the Revelton family. From the Taylors and their daughter who helped perfect their award-winning gins, to the team who installed Lucy, our 33-foot-tall custom-made still, right down to the local farms that provide our coveted corn, and even the cows on those farms who consume our mash byproduct. Want to see the farm to flask come to life? Now you can tour Lucy and find out where we take Iowa's harvest and transform it into our finest spirits. Choose between a 45-minute tour or find out even more by scheduling a VIP behind-the-scenes tour to get the taste of the full Revelton experience. You can visit them at 1400 West Clay Street in Osceola, Iowa, or find all of Revelton's award-winning spirits at any local grocery or spirits retailer.
All right, thanks to Revelton. Hey, I got mine sitting here as well.
Oh, mine up on the shelf. Mine on the shelf, but yeah, I got mine too.
It's been in the mailbox a couple of days. Ship said, so I had to go check.
You gotta make sure it works.
Oh, it works. Right. It works.
All right, so obviously I'm the new guy on the team here. Tell me some stories, if you can, that are for publication here. How you welcome former teammates to your team in the past. Dying to hear whether it's at Iowa State or in the pros.
I mean, I mean, as a freshman, I didn't hang out with no freshmen, really, when I came. I mean, we had JUCO guys come in. We just kind of treated them like family. I mean, but there was no hazing or anything like that in college that I remember.
Right.
It didn't happen to me, and I don't remember doing it to anyone, or, not hazing per se, but I don't know. College was one thing, but I remember being a rookie in the league, and, we were in charge of breakfast on the way to, who did we play, Pittsburgh, or I don't know. But myself and my roommate, Rondell Biggs, who played at Michigan, ironically, he liked the Michigan uniforms, but we were in charge of the D-line breakfast, and, man, it was some of the weirdest stuff. You talking like, you know how it goes. Like the old vets are gonna, I need
just whatever reason.
I want 2 extra patties, and I want extra 1 sausage link, 2 strips of bacon, not 3, just 2. Like, it was so crazy, and we damn near missed a plane because it was across town, and we had to be at the airport at a certain time. So we flying in, and we, running through not the tarmac, because we had like a special spot that we hopped on the plane, but we running through that joker with bags of food. And the coach is looking at us like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, y'all should have been here first. But, the joys of being a rookie, man, you gotta pay your dues. Like, you gotta pay your dues, man.
Right. And for me, pretty much the same way. I mean, Iowa State, Iowa State is a different university. We know there's a lot of things that may go on in a lot of other places, but I mean, we just don't get down like that. We get down to business, being student athletes. We're not trying to do anything to get anybody hurt or anything like that. So we just going to practice, going to work, and things like that. But when I got to the pros, fortunately, I guess for me, I was drafted with, I think, 5 to 6 other rookies, maybe 7.
And you're the first rounder too.
Yeah, but the vets on the team, 3 of them had got drafted the year before me, and I think the oldest guy on the team at the time was Freddie. And I think Fred was like 26, 27. So we didn't have any like old vets that, wanted to play tricks and things like that on us, And then it was right near September 11 and things like that. So you couldn't do anything with you. You had to carry your own bag. You couldn't, deliver bags to people rooms and stuff like that. So pretty much for me, we had it easy. We didn't have to get any breakfast or anything like that. Maybe if donuts or something like that, just to have in the area. And so then after my rookie year, that second year, I wasn't going to do, to the rookies that was coming in what wasn't done to me. So it just, pretty much trickled down the same old way. But then after a couple of years, we got, Charles Oakley and Antonio Davis and Scottie Pippen. Yeah. And then that set of rookies was really, really going through the gamut of things, like come pick me up, to get on the plane when you got your own car, that type stuff, just making it really, really hard for them. So for us, it was easy. For those next couple of guys, when we got those real super vets, Jalen Rose and Travis Best, and those guys came in, it was a little bit different, especially on the road.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on the road. Those hotel tabs was a little different. Like I didn't get my hair washed at the spa. Well, nobody did. Well, somebody did. When somebody paying for it.
Right.
So that happened a few times.
Oh, yeah.
You just looked at your credit card bill. What? Where did this come from?
You didn't even have to look at your credit card bill, because if it was on your room tab, like if you didn't pay, I mean, it's not like the team don't know who was in that room. Right. They got ways of taking it out of your check. It's that simple. Like you don't in the league, you don't pay for tickets or anything like that. You just tell them how many they need. They know it's not like they don't know who your employee is. They don't know where it's not coming. They don't get it. So you'll get the invoice at the end of the month with what your tab was. Simple as that.
Nice.
Oh man, that's so true. I forgot.
That's it.
Things. Yeah.
So we're a couple weeks away now from Big 12 basketball season kicking in high gear with the Cyclones. I see that they media day, I think they're ranked number 7 in the conference. Does that feel about right to you guys?
Ooh.
I mean, I know that's more of a Marcus that question.
I don't know. I mean, we know how tough the Big 12 is, but I mean, we have a pretty strong recruiting class. And the guys were pretty solid last year. I hope, being as low as 7 is something that's going to light a fire beneath them. I remember my last year, they had us, I think, ranked at 10th or 11th of the 12 schools in the Big 12. So that really lit a fire up under me. So hopefully it does the same thing. But I think with the talent and everything that TG has brought in and the rest of the coaching staff this year, they're going to – it's going to be some bumps in the road early, but that's why you play those type games, getting ready for conference. But I think 7 is a little bit too low.
What are your thoughts on, I think one of the areas that I'm with the configuration, the additional teams to the Big 12 that we're going to miss is the ability to play all the teams. We're seeing in football, there's 4 or 5 teams that we do not get an opportunity to play. Basketball, we're used to being able to have a home and away against every team. We get a chance to match up. And like we talked earlier, you get that chance where if you don't play very well in that first game, you get a chance for redemption in the second game and not have to wait until the Big 12 tournament. What are you guys' thoughts on not having that opportunity to either football play every team or basketball play them twice?
It's going to be different. I don't know if if Brent was ever a part of anything like that. I know I wasn't. I mean, for the most part, it was how many teams is it going to be now total?
What, 16?
16. So
right?
Yeah, right. So when I was in school, it was only 12. So you had the teams in Texas that you played, and then you went down to Oklahoma to play those 2 teams, and then we went to Kansas and to Missouri, but it wasn't like an offset of teams. you were pretty much going to get a home and away, for pretty much everyone. So it's going to be different. It's going to be different. It's going to be something that I'm looking forward to see how it works out. For some years, it's going to be better than others if one of those teams is a powerhouse at home and we don't have to go on the road and we can beat them at home. But then the flip side, the next year is going to be the same thing. So it's just one of those wait and see things.
Well, this year we get to go to Kansas, they come here, but we do not get to go there to play in the fog. And similarly, we get to go see Tyrese Hunter in Austin, but he doesn't have a return trip to Ames, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of obviously football, we're playing less games and all of that stuff, but, only getting really getting to see half of the Big 12 in 1 year. And then you kind of alternate, because I think it was every 2 years we would play Texas and Oklahoma, and then we switch out. And now it's the Baylor and Texas Tech type of thing. So, I mean, that's just part of it, man. It's one of those, you get one shot. You got to make the best of it, right? Because that one win could, help separate you in the Big 12, Definitely. Right? So it's just a matter of making sure everybody's prepared, and honestly, seeing a team once might bode better for us, right? If we can take care of business at home, or if we do get that win that might help us, set us up later on in the tournament. So
So you're right. This is one of the most probably anticipated freshman classes that we've seen in some time come in to play up in Ames. So I think certainly looking forward to it. We've got some Central Iowa guys that are going to be playing up there with team in Lipsy coming back for year 2 and Omaha Blue from your neck of the woods there, Brent, coming up to play as well.
I got to, man, I honestly had never went to a high school basketball game outside of Harrison Barnes up here in Iowa. But, I mean, going to see what Omaha was doing, he was worth the hype, man. He was a crazy athletic kid, and he decided to take over a game. He could take it over. So, super cool to see. But his athleticism will be huge for what Iowa State is doing, especially on the defensive side. So, really honing in on defense for him is going to be a major plus for us because the kid is crazy athletic, man. So I look forward to it.
Yeah, my son grew up playing in the travel basketball circuit and had some opportunities to play either with or against Omaha. And it's been fun watching his transformation, even from a 7th and 8th grader into what he's become today. He's got a lot of talent, that's for sure.
Yeah, we played Marcus Jr. and the team, our travel team here. We played him, I think, when he was in the 8th grade, and our boys was in the 7th grade out here in Vegas in the tournament. And it was Iowa traveling team, and even then he was, catching balls off the rim and dunking them and things like that. And it was like, this kid right here is going to be special. But that was years ago. You never know. 4 or 5 years later what's going to happen, 3 4 years later what's going to happen. But he steadily progressed and got to the position that we were lucky enough to grab the second McDowell All-American ever in Iowa State history, and looking forward to him doing some big things.
Yeah, and I saw someone post he has put in a lot of work to get to where he is today. I mean, this kid is super uber talented and got a lot of skill, but he's a hard worker too.
Yeah, he is.
Absolutely.
All right, we ready for NBA tip-off tomorrow?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The NBA knows how to do it. What is it, 2 games? Just the Lakers and the Nuggets and Phoenix and Golden State. Then the next day is going to be about 40 of them.
Right.
Of course,
gotta get the viewership up, man.
They got to get the viewership up in the front in opening night, but it's going to be exciting, to get the season underway. It's a lot of anticipation with, Victor Wembanyama down in San Antonio, and some guys moving around, the moves that the Lakers made this season, this off season, the trade to Milwaukee with Dame Lillard, which I'm very excited about. And you can't forget about Boston. Like, we were talking about it on Facebook the other day, and then I forgot Porzingis was in Boston. I was like, how y'all keep on putting Boston over my Bucks, and then he started talking about the players, and I was like, damn, I forgot KP was. I was like, no, and then some preseason games was on. He was moving like he hadn't moved in the last couple of years, like off the dribble. I was like, oh man, now we got to deal with this. So the East is getting tougher, the West is getting tougher, but I'm very excited about Dame being in Milwaukee. I might try to make it back for one of those games this year. To see how things are going. It's going to be on the other side of that cold weather. We out here in Vegas for a reason. We're not trying to get that Midwest weather unless we have to. Absolutely have to.
I hear that. Yeah, it'll be
fun. I was out
in
Vegas when you hit 114 degrees. It was hot. It was dry heat though.
Yeah, and for us, we go through those spells of 110, 112, 114, 117 for weeks. And then when it goes down to like 105 or 100, people are like, oh, it's hot out there. And we like, man, that breeze is going down from like that 14, 15 degrees is crazy in terms of how hot and how much cooler it is. And like now, we have the patio door open. It's about, 77, 75, and it's a nice cool breeze out there. And then once it, the daytime when it's 88, 90, like Brent said to a lot of people, that's hot, but us, it's like, that's a breath of fresh air to get that type of weather going on right now. Hopefully it stays.
That's it.
So as we start to wrap, did you all see the new wrestling facility that's being put in where the Iowa Tech field house is?
No.
Yeah, Jamie Pollard released some renditions yesterday that they're going to go in.
Real quick.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. Thanks, Ship. So they're going to go in, and I think it's a $20 million renovation of the field house and turning it into a wrestling practice facility, which really looks sharp if you get a chance to take a look at it.
Yeah, I would definitely. I was in school where they used to call him 1,000,000. That Sanderson kid, he was something tough. He was something like, he had me in the stands sitting up there watching, those matches. And where is this? Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, so this is the All Iowa Tech field house, and I think by reading the media reports, should be ready by 2025.
What?
So did they take it over?
Right.
So I don't think that there's been a purchase made yet, but Jamie Pollard felt pretty good about it. It seems inevitable that it's going to happen. But this is that facility that's right across the parking lot from the basketball facility.
Right next door. Is the Tech not there anymore? I mean, what's going on with them?
Well, I'm not sure. My assumption is that they're building a new facility in that Kettlestone district in Waukee that's supposed to have 12 courts. And Brent, you might know more about that than I do, but my guess is they're building that and then probably selling this hand in hand with one another.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm familiar with where the area is, but I guess I didn't know that was being built out here. There's so much going up in Waukee right now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Marcus, were they building the Sukup when you were there?
No. It was nothing. It was nothing out there. We practiced whenever he wanted to punish us. We went to state gym. But mostly we would either be at the Forker or at the Hilton. And we hated at the Hilton because you practicing on the regulation size field. You don't want to do that. I mean, you want to get into a practice gym, which is a smaller gym. The court is smaller. But mainly it was probably at the Forker. Not that many times at the state gym. Back then, the state gym rims had the plexiglass at the top, but it had the like the wood at the bottom with the rim was on. So I was in there trying to break them every single time. You're talking about ball bouncing up to the ceiling. It doesn't matter. I was trying to break them to get out of there. It was cold in the building, and we just didn't want to be in there. I try to break them every single time, but no, we didn't get a lot of practicing in there. But where the whole practice facility and where that building is and things like that now, I think it's a bowling alley and stuff over there. Like I don't know the name of that street right beside it, but there's some apartments. One of my best friends, Simon Watkins, and his girlfriend lived over there, and in those apartments, like that was the end of everything. Back then, you had towers, and then you had those apartments, and those apartments seemed like they were in Des Moines from Iowa State to how far they, seemed. But now, things are. I mean, that's what a practice facility and I think what the guys, apartments are now is like normal now.
Well, it's been incredible to watch all the enhancements that Jamie Pollard has put into place for all of the different programs. So it's right. This is impressive to see this new wrestling facility take shape, and you look at basketball and now what they're doing down at the stadium. It's just it's night and day difference.
Right, it is. Mm-hmm. I like what, again, football being my favorite sport. When I come back, I used to always be around the Jake and walking about what they've done to it now. Like when I came back for the Hall of Fame, for my Hall of Fame, just to be in a practice facility and walk through there and, see the mannequins with the jerseys and stuff on. Like, I was like, man, this is like an NFL type thing to me. Like, I was very excited to be in there and to see, it correlates with the teams getting better. When you have those nicer amenities and things like that, that goes a long ways. Recovery, having, the opportunity to have better equipment, food and all that stuff goes a long way. So to be able to see that, I'm extremely excited to see in other sports that we have going on are having the opportunity to have the same thing. Who is the coach of the wrestling team? I don't know.
Kevin Dressler.
Came
from Virginia, maybe 3-4 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, very excited about that.
All right, last question of the night for you, fellas. Flag football in the Olympics. Are you in?
Go ahead, B.
I mean, it sells tickets, right? I mean, it'll be cool to see some of the guys play it, honestly. I mean, I think it'd be like a cheat code to get a Tyreek Hill and really just the Miami offense to have a flag football team, because there won't be a team that can just run with them play after play after play after play in that type of setting. But, I mean, I think it'd be fun to see. I mean, they got women's flag in it. I mean, as long as, the NFL doesn't kind of put their hands on it like, well, these are our guys. We got to, as long as they don't, put the mighty hammer down on it, I think it'd be cool, cool to see.
Rewind 20 years. Are you playing?
Oh, yeah. Just because the experience, you know what I'm saying? Like to play in the Olympics. Yeah, I'd be all for it. And
what about the biggest tight end in flag football history, Marcus?
Oh, absolutely. I like it. Listen, it was cold in Ames. It was cold in Ames. As much as I love football, as much as, Coach McCartney tried to, put the bug in my ear a little bit. Like, it was cold. It was cold. And like I've told the story before, like me and Big Andy Syndrome, we came in together. And, Andy is supposed to play basketball too. But, he's from the Midwest, area where he can handle it a little bit better than me. And, he's like, I'll stay on the football field, you stay on the basketball court. And that's the way it was. But had I really gotten into it more in high school, I was the biggest kid in high school, in Louisiana. That's ultimately why I got away from football. I actually was quarterback when I was playing football, but my dad was like, everybody, the guys that are blocking for you are smaller than you, and you playing basketball, I don't want to, jeopardize your knees and anything like that. So that's why ultimately I never played football, but it's still my favorite sport. And I never knew, collegiate football players and NFL players were actually my size. You got guys, offensive line that are 6'10", 6'11", like, in defense as well. So to see the guys 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" playing, tight end, absolutely, I'd be out there catching passes like crazy. As fast as I was and with the hands up, man, please.
Hey, I think JJ is 6'7" himself. He's playing quarterback. JJ Cole.
Yeah, but back then it wasn't like, even though you want your quarterbacks to be tall, but I mean I was 6'8", 245, 250. You didn't have quarterback. Dante Culpepper was the first one that came around that was 6'4", 6'5", 250. And he's younger than me, so it's like, well, we were around about the same age. I think a little bit older than me, but you didn't see that as much as you see it now. What's the guy Osweiler that played for the Broncos? He's 6'8". Like I didn't know that, but at the same time, flag football came around for the Olympics and they called me. Absolutely, I'd be out there catching passes
out there.
That's hard to go. I don't have to dive and catch the ball and fall on that frozen concrete. Man, please sign me up.
That's it.
Sign me up.
It feels like a good stopping spot for us. Thanks to Revelton Distillery for our sponsor for tonight's episode of In the Side of the Storm. Anybody have anything to close us out with?
That's it, man. Be great. Go Cyclones.
Looking forward to this weekend. Looking forward to being back in action and getting ready to get this dub for sure.
All right. That sounds good. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of the night. Go Cyclones.